Okay, so just a couple more things here, and that's pretty much a day. But again, there's going to be some stuff here that is really good. Um, Now, a lot in the community, touching is called kino, but I have a better. I like, to me, what makes more sense is I call it touchy feely because to me it's kind of like kino implies just touching, but I like touchy feely because if I'm touching her, is she feeling is she feeling me touching her? So I like that, and I think there's a lot of communication that goes on with that. Um, when it comes to the issue of respect, I was kind of working on some stuff for just some other random thoughts of why men value respect so much. And I to narrow it down into like one thing, I think it's because the unrespected man goes first. But that's Neanderthals. So, but in today's age, my current state of thinking is, I'm just going to say it, but I don't care about respect. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you hate me. I want you to hate me. Oh, I want you to hate me. I want you to bring out the best in me. Because I'd rather have hate motivating me to like bring out and bring out the best in me than being complacent. Because if there's one thing that women don't like, it's complacency. So I'd rather like take the heat and have that motivate me to I'm doing stuff. I'm juggling this ball over here. I'm managing this perception over here. I'm busy. I'm not busy. So I don't really care about respect. Because at the end of the day, it's easy to spread rumors and it's easy to talk those words, and that's all it is. It's just noise in the air. And the moment you realize that nothing really matters, everything is just noise in the air, and that I know my own value, and everything that people say is just to try and change your perception of your value of yourself. And it's like when you already know your value, then there's nothing that they can do to change that, no matter how hard they try. And it's like when you know your value, and say nasty rumors are going around, none of it really matters, because the second that you directly engage with a target who's being influenced by negative perceptions of you, none of it really matters, because the second that you start talking to her, she'll know right away what the situation is, and she will know who's just saying things and who's real. So some really solid stuff. Um, Women are very smart. They like to cover their tracks. Women, I'll just come out right and say it, but women are cold and ruthless. Even though they love to be emotional, they are really the praying mantis. Look at the praying mantis. They will literally, that's a bug's perception, but they're cold like that. They'll be in love with someone and say they want their baby, but then they'll go out and but we won't talk about that right now. But that's nature. And I've seen it. So anyways, so going back to that point about the perceptions in the air of other people trying to like manipulate perceptions. Base your trust eye contact. That's basically it. Trust eye contact. Because sometimes you really don't know who your friends are. Well, sometimes I don't know who my friends are. And basically is kind of like I trust eye contact. And because it's like if I can see you, then I know if you're just trying to like send a message to me, that has a different meaning it's kind of like several layers deeper than just the face value of it. That might, the message, the meaning of it might come apparent later on in the night. You might be planning a rather complicated message, but trust eye contact when in doubt. Anyways, yeah. So just on a closing note, so you can have the right system, but you can still mess it up, because if you've got all the right words to say, and you already got the right words, you can still mess it up by going too fast. So you always have to kind of really get into that micro calibration zone where everything is slow and makes sense, and you can really feel her vibe. And ultimately, I think that if you're being arousing, you should be getting a hard on too. It's like, if you're sexually exciting, you should be getting like turned on too. And I think that's kind of the holy grail, is if you're getting turned on, then you're doing something right. So that is really kind of something I want to work on, and like, yeah. And when it comes to it's a balancing act between not caring. Like I said, like, when it comes to showing interest, you have to like show interest, but not that much. It's like negotiating. It's like you have to care, but not that much, right? Like, so for me, it's trying to like find a balance between being a highly interested man and coming across as, that if it doesn't happen, it's not going to be a big deal. Don't worry about it. So just really slowing down and kind of like going to the traffic light system. It's like, I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen, red light, green light, and back and forth, and just really getting into that zone where everything is slow and makes sense. And I think, slower, when you go slower, you see more. So, and you also make sure you don't overtalk yourself. Oh, now this one is money. So, if there's one thing that women can't stand, it's men. If there's one thing that women can't stand with men, it's not getting wet in their company. This is everything. They love being aroused and sitting in puddles. And, they despise men who lack this competence. And that's all there is to it. If you can't get a girl wet and, like, so her panties become little puddles, then you mean nothing to her. No matter how strong or how confident or how macho or how many friends you have or how many sports you do or how famous you are. Because, sure, those help. But at the very end of the day, you could be homeless and be better skilled at that, and I think have a lot more success than be like, the richest man, but can't get a girl wet. So that's what I think. So the ability to get girls puddles in their pants. Now, one thing that I think, because women say they want a lot of things, but what they actually want, I think, is a lot different. It's like, women tell us what they want, and we think, I have to give a girl what a woman wants. But what about what I want? I'm a man. I'm going to do what I want, and you're going to like it. I'm going to tell you what you want. So, one thing that I think is really going to work in favor is move faster than her program sensibility is motored. It's like, if I can move so fast, like I'm making out with you, I'm getting your number, we're bouncing, and then then once we've kind of like got each other like alone and it's kind of like solidified and it's gelled, slow down a little bit and like, allow you to like get comfortable and like really turned on as we like go around to like a few venues in one night, and then, and then move fast and really, get her home. But moving faster than her program sensibility, because like women, have this like, oh, I have to be this and I have to be that, and what about my friends and like all this stuff. And if you can move faster than she can think about what's going on, I think that's a lot of power in that. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, okay. One more thing. One more little clip.